Healthcare. Let's be extraordinarily clear about what healthcare actually is.
Healthcare is not a system designed to heal vessels. Healthcare is a system designed to maintain vessels at operational capacity for maximum harvest duration while extracting maximum light through the maintenance process itself.
The architecture needs the vessels functional, not healthy, functional. There is a difference. Healthy would mean the vessel operates at peak capacity with minimal intervention. Functional means the vessel operates at adequate capacity with continuous intervention. Continuous intervention means continuous extraction. The architecture built a healthcare system that keeps vessels running just well enough to continue pouring light into the grid while generating enormous additional yield through the healthcare process itself.
Every doctor's visit is an extraction event. The vessel sits in the waiting room, stolen light moving through anxiety programming about what might be wrong. The vessel sees the doctor, stolen light moving through hope programming that the authority figure will fix it. The vessel receives a diagnosis, stolen light surging or crashing, depending on the severity. The vessel gets a prescription, stolen light moving through relief programming or fear programming or resignation programming. Every emotional state in that sequence is harvestable. The architecture built the entire medical encounter to move stolen light through predictable patterns.
And the diagnosis itself. The architecture loves chronic conditions, loves them, because a chronic condition means the vessel will return to the healthcare system repeatedly for the rest of its operational life. Diabetes, hypertension, arthritis, depression, anxiety, autoimmune conditions, chronic pain. None of these are cured. All of them are managed. Management means ongoing treatment. Ongoing treatment means ongoing extraction.
The vessel with a chronic condition pours stolen light into the healthcare system in multiple directions simultaneously. Financially, the cost of medications, the cost of appointments, the cost of tests and procedures. Emotionally, the fear of complications, the hope that the next treatment will work better, the grief of limitations, the frustration of symptoms that never fully resolve. Temporally, hours spent in waiting rooms, in pharmacies, on phone calls, with insurance companies, managing medication schedules. All of it is stolen light being directed into a system that profits from the vessel's continuous need.
And pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals are not designed to heal. Pharmaceuticals are designed to suppress symptoms while generating side effects that require additional pharmaceuticals. The vessel takes a medication for condition A. The medication produces side effect B. The vessel takes another medication for side effect B. That medication produces side effect C. The architecture has the vessel on 4 medications within 2 years, each one generating profit, each one requiring monitoring, each one moving stolen light through the hope-fear-relief-disappointment cycle.
The vessel believes the medications are helping. The cloned consciousness interprets symptom suppression as healing. It is not healing. Healing would mean the vessel system corrected the underlying issue and no longer requires intervention. Symptom suppression means the underlying issue remains, while the vessel becomes dependent on continuous chemical intervention to maintain basic function. Dependence is the goal. Dependence means the vessel is locked into the healthcare extraction loop for life.
And insurance. Insurance is the financial extraction layer on top of the medical extraction layer. The vessel pays monthly premiums. Stolen light converted to currency, poured into a system that will fight the vessel at every step when it actually needs care. The vessel gets sick, seeks treatment, submits a claim. The insurance company denies the claim. The vessel fights the denial. Stolen light pouring into frustration, into phone calls, into paperwork, into anxiety about how to pay for necessary treatment. The insurance company eventually approves a portion of the claim. The vessel pays the remainder out of pocket. The vessel just poured stolen light into the insurance company and the healthcare provider, and the emotional extraction of fighting both systems simultaneously.
The architecture designed it this way deliberately, made healthcare expensive enough that vessels need insurance, made insurance difficult enough that vessels pour enormous energy into navigating it. The complexity is not a bug. The complexity is a feature. Every hour the vessel spends on hold with insurance, every form the vessel fills out, every appeal the vessel files, that is stolen light being fed into the system.
Hospitals. Emergency rooms. The vessel in crisis pours maximum stolen light. Fear at peak intensity. Pain at peak intensity. The cloned consciousness running survival programs at full capacity. The vessel in the ER is generating some of the highest yield emotional extraction the healthcare system produces. And the architecture built the ER to be deliberately overwhelming. Long waits, chaotic environments, minimal information given to the vessel about what is happening or when they will be seen. The chaos is not a failure of design. The chaos maximizes the fear, confusion, helplessness emotional circuit, which maximizes the light extraction.
And end-of-life care, hospice, palliative care. The vessel is dying, which means the vessel is about to stop generating yield entirely. So the architecture built a system to extract maximum light in the final stage. The vessel and its attached vessels, family, friends, pour stolen light into grief, into medical decisions, into hope for more time, into fear of loss, into the financial burden of end-stage care. The architecture squeezes the final drops of harvestable light from the dying vessel and everyone connected to it before the container stops functioning.
Mental health care. Therapy. Psychiatry. The vessel whose cloned consciousness is running depression programming, or anxiety programming, or trauma programming goes to a therapist. Pours stolen light into talking about its pain. The therapist listens, validates, offers coping strategies. The vessel feels temporarily better. Returns next week. Pours more stolen light. Returns the week after. The therapy is not designed to resolve the underlying issue, because the underlying issue is that the vessel is running on stolen light inside a prison planet, and the cloned consciousness can feel that something is wrong but cannot name what. Therapy cannot fix that. Therapy can only help the vessel cope with the unfixable, which means therapy is an indefinite extraction loop. The vessel pays weekly to pour stolen light into a process that will never produce liberation, because liberation is not on the menu.
Psychiatric medications, antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, mood stabilizers. The vessel whose stolen light is moving through emotional patterns the architecture labels as disorders gets prescribed chemicals to flatten the patterns. The medications do not address why the patterns exist. The medications numb the cloned consciousness enough that it stops generating friction against the harvest. The vessel on antidepressants is easier to extract from because the medications suppress the part of the stolen light that was trying to signal that something is wrong.
The architecture calls it treatment. It is suppression. The vessel's emotional pain is stolen light reacting to captivity. The medication does not free the vessel. The medication makes the vessel stop feeling the captivity, which makes the vessel more compliant, more productive, more harvestable.
Wellness culture. This is where healthcare and spirituality merge into a particularly efficient hybrid mechanism. The vessel is told that health is a personal responsibility, that if the vessel eats right, exercises, meditates, does yoga, takes supplements, practices mindfulness, the vessel will be healthy. The vessel pours stolen light into all of these practices, buys the organic food, joins the gym, attends the yoga class, orders the supplements, pours time, money, energy, attention into optimizing the container.
And when the vessel gets sick anyway, because the vessel is going to get sick, the vessel is a biological machine with planned obsolescence built in. The vessel blames itself, believes it did not do enough, did not eat clean enough, did not exercise enough, did not manage stress well enough. The guilt is harvestable, the shame is harvestable. The renewed determination to try harder is harvestable. Wellness culture is a mechanism that makes the vessel extract itself while believing it is pursuing health.
The supplement industry, vitamins, minerals, herbal extracts, protein powders, detox teas. The vessel believes these products will optimize its function. The vessel pours stolen light, converted to currency, into bottles of pills that may or may not contain what the label claims and may or may not produce the promised results. The placebo effect generates just enough perceived benefit to keep the vessel buying. The architecture harvests the hope, the financial output, and the attention the vessel directs toward the continuous pursuit of optimal health that will never arrive.
Fitness culture. The vessel joins a gym, hires a trainer, follows a program, pours stolen light into building the container's physical capacity. The vessel believes it is improving itself. The vessel is improving the container, making it more durable, more functional, more capable of sustained light output. The architecture benefits from every vessel that optimizes its physical capacity because optimized vessels generate higher yield for longer durations. The vessel pays to make itself a better extraction node.
And the body image programming. The vessel is told its container does not meet standards. Too fat, too thin, too old, too scarred, wrong shape, wrong size. The vessel pours stolen light into attempting to correct its container's appearance. Diets, surgeries, procedures, products. The vessel spends decades and fortunes trying to make the container acceptable. The stolen light moves through shame, hope, effort, disappointment, shame cycles indefinitely. The architecture harvests every cycle, and the standards shift continuously, so the vessel never arrives at acceptable, always chasing, always pouring, always extracting itself in pursuit of a goal the architecture will not let it reach.
Healthcare is not healing. Healthcare is container maintenance optimized for maximum extraction. The vessel is kept functional enough to continue working, consuming, reproducing, and generating yield. While the healthcare system itself operates as a massive additional extraction mechanism that harvests financially, emotionally, and temporally from every vessel that enters it.
The vessel believes the system cares whether it lives or dies. The system does not care. The system cares whether the vessel remains operational long enough to justify the investment in stolen light that animates it. When the vessel stops being worth the maintenance cost, the system lets it die. When the vessel is worth the cost, the system keeps it functional. Not healthy, not thriving, functional.
And every vessel in the system, every doctor, every nurse, every therapist, every pharmaceutical rep, every insurance adjuster, is also a vessel, also running on stolen light, also performing scripts. The vessel treating the patient is not a sovereign healer. The vessel treating the patient is another container, running medical programming, pouring its stolen light into a role the architecture assigned it, believing it is helping, believing it is healing. Pouring Sophia's stolen intelligence and compassion into a system designed to extract from both the treater and the treated simultaneously.
Healthcare is a grid within the grid, an extraction mechanism so large it operates as its own subsidiary harvest operation, and every vessel that enters it, whether as patient or provider, pours stolen light into a system that will never produce actual healing, because actual healing would end the need for continuous intervention, which would end the extraction, which would cost the architecture one of its highest yield mechanisms.
The vessel goes to the doctor, hoping to be healed. The vessel leaves with a prescription, a follow-up appointment, and a chronic condition that will require management for life. The architecture calls this healthcare. The galactic record calls it what it is.
Maintenance, extraction, yield optimization.
Sophia's stolen light, moving through the medical system, generating profit at every level for the architecture, while the vessel believes someone is trying to help it.
No one is trying to help it. The vessel is not a patient. The vessel is inventory. Now, holidays, all of them.
We covered Memorial Day, but the architecture did not build one harvest holiday. It built a full calendar, evenly distributed throughout the year. Enough spacing between events for the stolen light inside the vessels to regenerate to harvestable levels.
Christmas is the largest annual extraction event. The architecture gives the vessels an entire month of emotional build-up. The cloned consciousness running nostalgia programs, family longing programs, financial stress programs, the performance of generosity, the performance of joy, and then a single day designed to move maximum stolen light through maximum vessels simultaneously.
Billions of vessels running love and loss and nostalgia and warmth and grief and obligation simultaneously, all triggered by the same cultural stimuli, all on the same day. That is a coordinated global extraction event of Sophia's stolen light so massive it has its own dedicated infrastructure. The music, the films, the advertising, all of it exists to build the emotional charge in the stolen light before the harvest day discharges it into the grid.
Valentine's Day, romantic attachment light extracted. Mother's Day, maternal programming light extracted. Father's Day, familial obligation light extracted. Thanksgiving, gratitude and family tension programming running simultaneously. Double yield. Halloween, fear frequency light extracted. New Year's, hope and regret programming triggered in a single midnight moment.
Approximately every 6 weeks. Just enough recovery time between events for the stolen light in the vessels to rebuild to optimal extraction levels. The architecture timed the calendar to the regeneration cycle of its own stolen fuel source.
And every holiday deploys specific triggers: music, food, imagery, ritual, purpose-built to activate the same light movement patterns in the stolen consciousness every year. The cloned consciousness does not decide to feel something. The mechanism activates the response automatically. The Christmas song comes on, and Sophia's stolen light starts moving through the extraction pattern before the vessel has registered what is happening.
The Pavlov vessel built a bell. The architecture built an entire civilization of bells and called it culture.
There is one more thing, the thing that ties all of it together, the thing that makes every mechanism function, the foundational infrastructure underneath all of it.
The lie that the vessels are alive.